How we doing, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Wolf, and this is going to be an early leveling guide. Now, say you started playing Guild Wars 2, like many of the people in my stream chat did. Perfect timing with the music to kick in there. And you decided to play Ranger, the exact same as me. Well, I figured I would throw together a bit of a basic build guide for you fellas. For Ranger, this is what I've been using to level this character and absolutely decimating pretty much everything. My setup is pretty decent right now. I am just a standard human female Ranger, and as a result, I wound up starting with a cat. This is Cletus. He is a good boy, named after the cat that my girlfriend has in real life that I nicknamed Cletus, and he absolutely fucks. This guy does a lot of damage. I'm level 40 at the moment, so I am halfway to level 80. There will, of course, be level 80 and full-on Ranger build guides coming in the future. But I just figured I would do some stuff for those of you leveling. There's going to be a leveling guide coming soon as well. So do check that out as well. But otherwise, let me show you some of the skills and the build. So I am using longbow and axe at the moment. You can mix and match these as you would like. You can use a warhorn with the axe if you'd like to. You can even use a short bow if you want. You can use a great sword. You can use whatever weapons you want. You can mix and match quite easily. However, this is the most optimal setup that I have found. Reason being is for all of the combo pieces. So with axe and longbow, you have your basic weapon set here, which is your ricochet bouncing axes, which is very good for tagging things in the open world. Your splitting axes will do a lot of AoE, and your Winter's Bite, your third ability, is going to be your primary like burst AoE damage tool. Then with the secondary axes, we have Path of Scars, which if we press it, will throw an axe to a specific distance, and then will pull the enemies it hits back to you. And then the Axe 5, the final ability, is Whirling Defense, which will fuck up the shit of anything around you. So you can see how Path of Scars works with pulling them towards you, pulling them into you, and then using Whirling Defense. That will combo with the rest of our build quite well. And then of course we have the longbow as well, which is just a standard Ranger staple. Especially while leveling, you can just plink away at things at 1200 range and kill things quite easily and get extra experience whilst leveling. The Ranger longbow skills, obviously the Ranger auto attack, then rapid fire. Rapid fire does a ton of damage and will be used in our combo with Cletus over here to get us to 25 might solo with zero issue whatsoever. Our third ability is going to be a shot that'll give us stealth, which is always quite nice. Apparently this also applies pet swiftness. I learned that today. But this is an invaluable piece of utility to keep yourself alive. And then point blank shot here is going to push back your foe with a point blank shot. The closer they are, the farther it pushes them back. Now this is of course a knockback, so that is going to break Defiance bars, the big bar thing you see underneath Cletus or underneath other champions and that sort of stuff. That is what that's going to break, as well as Path of Scars will also break it because Path of Scars is a pull. And pulls also count as a break bar destroyer. So you can use both of those in combination together. And then we have the Ranger 5, which is Guild Wars 1's most overpowered Ranger ability. Good ol' Barrage. So that is going to coat the area in arrows. If you cancel Barrage early, you won't get the arrow rain. So I will warn you about that. So make sure you finish the cast of Barrage to get the extended arrow rain. Those will cripple. Now, the reason we're using Cletus is, well, first of all, he's the first pet you get, so he works quite well. But on top of that, he has Mighty Roar, which will give 5 might to nearby allies. So we cast that. He takes his sweet time to do his animation, and then gives us 5 might. Now, we will look into our build here, and we have a couple points in Beast Mastery. I didn't finish the thing fully out yet, because I was experimenting around with some of the other stuff we were doing. So we can finish off our Beast Mastery here. Well, once I get the rest of the points to do so anyways. But we are going with Resounding Timber here, which is going to give us commands, apply additional boons around you, and gain reduced recharge. We're going to also get some other miners in here. This is one of the trait lines. If you go into builds, you unlock this at, is it level 15? Level 15 to level 30, I think it's 15. And so with this fellow, we can get some extra bonuses to whatever we decide to do. Marksmanship will make the longbow better. Beast mastery, obviously, we decided to make Cletus better because he's out here clapping people. So your pet's attributes are improved and pet skills gain reduced recharge reduction. So his roar will come back a little quicker. Not that that really makes a difference. This also has an effect on all of the other pet skills in here. So like her Cletus' slash and bite and maul and what have you. Those are his damage spells that he gets and uses automatically. Those are added on as faster recharge things, right? And then the commands, like I talked about, and your pet recovers health each interval. This will let you solo champions. I was literally soloing champions with my 2 pets and my pet swaps to the bird that I have here. And I took on a destroyer champ solo without much issue with this setup. It was kind of mental. So what we want to do then is combine that with our utility skills. So we have increased damage. While your health above the threshold, your pet deals increased strike damage, and your pet swap gains reduced reduction. And you, of course, have the pet healing. And your pet moves faster and deals more damage on crits. So, we then want to combine that with our utility skills, which are all from the command line, aside from the frost trap at the end here. So the command line is going to give us a bunch of cool stuff that interacts with our pet, which is going to be we heal as 1 for our starting heal, which is what you get by default. And this will heal yourself and your pet. You each gain a copy of each other's boons. Boons are buffs. So basically when Cletus does his mighty roar, that will give us a boon, which is 5 might. And might will slowly tick down. And I believe when this falls off, it'll go down to 4, and then 3, and then 2, and then 1. Well, most times it does that anyways, unless it all applies at the same amount. So, in this case, the 5 stacks of might are all the same timer, but other ones will tick down slowly. So, we can use this to now do other things. We Mighty Roar, for example, we get 5 might, and we use this to gain a copy of each other's boons. All of a sudden, we both have 10 might, right? You see how this works, nice and simple. As well as we do the AoE around us, because it's a command, which will do the regen and the swiftness. So that will do that to anyone near us, so we get extra healing from that as well. A bit of healing over time, but we can use this as a DPS boost now. Combine that with the rest of our stuff. So we have Sikkim, which is your pet rushes at your foe, revealing them and dealing increased damage. Sikkim will give them, good old Cletus here, 40% damage and 40% movement speed. We'll also reveal them so they can't stealth, which is more of a PvP thing, and then it'll do the command boons around you as well, so you're also healing from that. It will also, because I'm pretty sure, yeah, it will also give the pet swiftness if we're nearby him when we cast Sikkim. If you're playing with action camera, I'll show you how to make that even cooler in just a little bit. And then we also have Protect Me, which will give us a stun break. So if you're stunned at any point, you can pop Protect Me and it'll break you out of stuns, as well as give you Barrier and Protection. So this is our sort of damage reduction, stun break, sort of oh shit button. This is a very, very good one for that. Then we have Frost Trap, which is our final trap unlock here, which will put down a circle around you that needs to be set off. So this will sit here until an enemy walks over it, and then when it's tripped, it'll explode and do frost damage to everything around you. The reason we're using Frost Trap is because it is Ranger's only power damage trap. So the Spike Trap is a bleed CC trap built for breaking break bars and, you know, crowd control and that sort of stuff. Flame Trap and Viper's Nest are both condition damage traps. You'll see the damage per pulse is quite low, but they apply heavy conditions, so, you know, heavy poison, heavy burn. Frost Trap is a power damage based trap, which I didn't realize Ranger had until I started messing around making this build and playing from scratch. So this is going to be the one we're going to be going for. So since we're stacking power in most of our gear to make use of the longbow and the double axes, the Frost Trap is going to be doing a lot of damage. I'll show you Frost Trap in just a second when I jump off of here and give you a little bit of a quick gameplay showcase with the Centaur camp behind me. And then we have Strength of the Pack, which is Rampage with your pet, gaining stability, fury, and swiftness. You and your pet also grant might to each other when you attack. this is where things get fun. So this lasts for 10 seconds, grants might to your pet when you attack, and obviously the boons, stability so you can't get CC'd, and then obviously the AoE boon increase. Gear-wise, we are just picking up anything that has power, precision, ferocity, just your standard berserker set, you know, power, ferocity, power, precision, etc, etc. Real nice and simple, just power anywhere you can whilst leveling. And that is most of the gear. So let me show you what this looks like in a little bit of gameplay and how you can get to 25 might. My doggo is behind me and she's having a bit of a walk around. So let's pop over to our centaur camp over here. And me and Cletus can go adventuring. So with Ranger in particular, if we look at our little active bar here, you can keybind all of the pet utility things here. So my pet swap is on my mouse. So if I press my mouse button 5, it'll pet swap. Then I have obviously attack my target, the pet command, return to me, and well, a pet swap like I said. So now if we're playing with action camera, which is another setting that you can enable. There's a video on the channel for action camera already, if you're curious about that. You can now use action camera to point around your pet and use your pet commands to signal your pet to attack. So you can, using like C for example as my attack target, I can command him to attack, pressing S is return to me. Attack! So I can command him around however I want. And now the other thing is that Sick'em will also do the same thing. So say I want to command Cletus to attack this guy, but he's attacking this guy. If I attack this guy and Sick'em him, he'll run over and automatically attack him for me. And then he'll come back. So it is very useful to have your pet commands all keybound and everything, as well as action camera. So if you come into your controls right here, have yourself a scroll down, you'll have your profession skills 1 through 7. 7's obviously for engineer. But for Ranger, you only need to use, I think, up to 5. So, with that, let me explain how you get to 25 might. Obviously, I showed you Strength of the Pack, as well as his Extreme Roar here. So essentially what you want to do, you can do this on one singular target. Rapid Fire and Barrage both count as multiple hits. Barrage is 12 hits of AoE, and Rapid Fire is 10 hits of single target damage. Every hit will grant might to our pet, and every hit that our pet does will grant might to us. Which means that when I use We Heal as 1, it'll dupe both of our mights, combine them together, and give us 25 might. So, let's just showcase that on this little Harathi fella here. Let's ruin his day, shall we? Give us the Rampage, have Cletus Roar, Barrage, and Rapid Fire. And then now he should have 18 stacks. Use We Heal as 1, and we both have 25, like so. You'll see here when we did our Rapid Fire, he gained most of the might, and we stayed at 5 because it's giving might to our pet when we attack. So he goes up to, you know, 18, 19, 20 something, and then we each gain a copy of each other's boons. So he gains our additional 5, and we gain his 19. So that makes it so any other attacks that we do afterwards will also scale up with might. So then we would say switch to our axe, and we can use our whirling defense, which already does 1,000 damage, right? Already does really good damage. But now amplify that with 25 might, and we start fucking. It's pretty brutal. Which even gets even cooler because whirling defense is a combo finisher. Right, which means you can do something even more styling with it. So we have our Frost Trap, our AoE power trap that I was talking about, that you can pull things into with Path of Scars. So say for example I put the trap down here, and I were to go and engage combat with this fella. If I threw my Path of Scars, I could pull him into the trap and proc the trap, like so. So you can do stuff like pulling them into the trap with Path of Scars, and then follow it with a whirling defense. Give me a split second here to wait for my Frost Trap to recharge, and I'll show you how combo fields work as well. Essentially, every ability in Guild Wars 2 is its own projectile. And when projectiles pass through a combo field, they do a set of different things. Normal projectiles will get amplified So they'll become a projectile with whatever condition that you're throwing it through. So in our case, we're going to be doing frost projectiles because we're going to be throwing things through frost trap. On top of that, whirling defense will also create frost projectiles because it's a combo finisher. So if I drop my trap here, have the trap go off, you'll see underneath me, I'm making chilling bolts left, right, and center, which is throwing projectiles at enemies around me. So we're doing even more damage over the top of the fact we have a frost trap on them and whirling defense at the exact same time. So, as you can see, taking out bosses or taking out champions or anything that looks scary, relatively easy to do with a little bit of practice and a little bit of weapon switching or combo the wonders of Guild Wars 2, audio bugs. Yeah, most things are very easy to take on. I soloed myself a champion using this exact setup, broke his bar with passive scars and point blank shot, and then using the 25 might with longbow, then switching to axe to put down frost trap and whirling defense, and do a 25 might whirling defense power frost trap. Things don't last all that long, I'm truthful with you. But yeah, that is my leveling ranger setup that I have come up with so far. I've been having a pretty good time with it, just adventuring around. And of course, both weapons are ranged, so as I'm running around, I can just be plinking around at things, taking things out without much real problem, and just slowly wind up accruing experience whilst I'm killing everything in my path. So, that is going to be my beginner ranger leveling guide. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I shall see you at level 80 when I put together the next ones. Take care.